Hi, fruity friends, and happy Tuesday. I'm so grateful for such an amazing day and to have you join us. Hello, welcome. Today is a special live interview with Matt of Raw Intuition. And Matt and I are part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle event that is going on through November 1st. So you might be tuning in to this live because you heard of the event, or maybe you're just here to have fun and to learn. So I'm just really grateful for you tuning in on the live or the replay. Let's get Matt on house. I'm gonna add some light. Let's see if this helps. Hi!
Hey, what's up, Lexi?
Hi, Matt. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Doing well.
Yay. How have you been enjoying all the festivities of the bundle?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's so fun because I don't usually go live that often, but now, with the bundle going on and everybody's going live, it's a nice change of pace.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
I've gone live like a couple times in my life. So I'm learning a
Yeah.
lot about the technology that's available to us. It's really cool to have these conversations and to meet new people and share experience. So thank you so much for carving out the time to spend with me here on the screen. So you have an ebook in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle called 5-Star Digestion. Is that right?
That is correct, yes.
So what inspired you to create this amazing resource? How did you come to love and enjoy raw living foods? How did you come to be interested in digestion and wanting to optimize it? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I would be happy to. So essentially, what kind of got me into this lifestyle was, there was a lot of different things that went into it. I grew up with asthma, eczema, just like super dry, like skin that would crack and bleed. I actually don't really remember it, but my parents tell me stories of like putting cortisol creams on me and then wrapping me in warm washcloths, wet washcloths, like just to hydrate my skin. And I grew up with some issues, and then also just constant colds and the yearly flus and all that sort of stuff. So that played into it. And then just I've always my parents, at least my mom, she was always preaching that we are what we eat. And so I kind of had an idea that what we ate had an impact on, how our health was and how our body was. And then when I was about 16 or 17, I started having more hair falling off onto my comb in the morning when I'd get ready. And it just freaked me out. And so I got super just paranoid and just depressed about it. And so I jumped on the internet and I looked for every hair loss solution there was, any foods or any magic potions that I could take to stop hair loss. And what I came up with was just for food wise anyways, it was a bunch of high protein animal foods like beef and chicken and fish and eggs and milk and all that stuff. So and I was already eating a lot of that stuff anyways, but I just figured maybe I wasn't eating enough. So I just dove into more of them, unfortunately, and it didn't help any. But one thing that did help me, I think, at least in the long run anyways, is they also promoted leafy greens like spinach. So I started doing big, massive, like spinach salads. They were also filled with all those other foods too, but well, foods, not really foods. I was having these salads, and it really kind of got me in that, mindset of having salads. And so I think that served me long term and helped me really get to, kind of where I am today. At least it was a small part of that anyways. And so, did that for a little while. And, obviously I didn't save my hair, but, it did show me what didn't work. For one, definitely the high animal product foods did not work, high animal protein foods. And then when I was about 24 or 25, I came across, actually I would have been 25.
Wait, stop. You look
Yes.
25.
Oh, well, thank you. Not quite, but so I'm 35 now. But so 10 years ago, I've been on this lifestyle for 10 years. 10 years ago, I came across an internet radio program that was talking about juice fasting. And so I must have just had this tiny little bit of intuition, like connection to my intuition left, from all the junk I was putting into my body. And so I was like, wow, that sounds like it might be worth trying. And so I gave it a shot. So I went to the grocery store, got all the fruits and vegetables that I could find, started just throwing stuff together. I didn't really go by any recipes or anything, but I wanted to just, get as many, juicy fruits and vegetables in so that I, could last on this juice fast. And so I really only planned to go like 2 or 3 days in the beginning. And so went 2 or 3 days, and I was feeling amazing. It was like a cloud lifted from around my head. Like my brain fog went away. I was like super energetic. I was sleeping better. And so I was like, dang, I got to keep going. So I just kept going. So 5 days came. I still felt really, really good. 8 days came. I was like, wow, okay, we're going to keep going. So I kept going, got to 10 days. And then I had lost about 15 pounds in those 10 days. So, and I wasn't doing it for weight loss or anything. I actually didn't even realize that I had any weight to lose, but that's how it usually goes. And so then I just realized after those 10 days of drinking nothing but fresh fruits and vegetable juices, that, I was like, dang, I haven't been eating the high animal protein foods. I haven't had any of that sort of stuff that everybody promotes as being super like important for health. And so I was just like, all right, I'm going to continue down this little rabbit hole of fruits and vegetables and eating. I got into the raw foods through Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator on YouTube, John Kohler over at OK Raw, and Dr. Robert Morse on YouTube. And those three guys really inspired me a lot to dig into, whole foods, a vegan diet, detoxification, and just getting healthy. And so they really inspired me, and they still do today. And so I've just taken that message 10 years ago that I received, and I just ran with it. And as the years, as over the next year or so from that point, after that juice fast, I just continued to add more and more raw foods until eventually I was basically only eating raw foods. And so I was, I didn't even intend to like become a raw fooder. It just kind of organically happened. And so, yeah. And that was, kind of my journey into this, and it's been 10 years now, and I'm feeling the best, I've ever felt still. And another thing that was really bugging me that I didn't even realize was constipation. I would go like multiple days without having a bowel movement back then. And when I would have a bowel movement, it would be like sandpaper. It was like super dry, so I was clearly dehydrated. And so yeah, once I got into this lifestyle and I was hydrating my body, I was eating higher fiber foods, I was exercising more because I had more energy. And I was having a bowel movement every single day, and it was easy to pass. It was like a pleasant experience. So it was an eye opener for sure. And what I've noticed, and one of the reasons why I came up with this book, is because most of the people that I have worked with, whether it's coaching or even just people in my personal life that I know, or me myself, the benefits that I've seen from implementing these sorts of things, I just saw a need for, people to understand the importance of colon health. And that was actually probably the biggest focus for me in the early days when I first got into this, was colon health. I just found it fascinating. And so I really dug into that, like books on colon health and things like that. And so, yeah, I just, wanted to put together a book that encompassed the dietary factors as well as lifestyle and environmental factors, because I hear a lot of people talking about the dietary factors, which is great, and there's a lot of great information out there. But I hear less about some of the lifestyle and environmental factors that I think are almost equally important. I mean, diet is really key, but there's also things that are really important outside of diet that I just wanted to bring more attention to people. And so that's kind of where the book idea came from.
Yay! That is so inspiring and super cool. And I love, something we have in common is accidentally discovering this raw vegan food thing. I
Yeah.
also didn't know it was a thing and like try to be it. I just, one day decided to follow the advice of fruit till noon, raw till four. And liked fruit so much, I just kept eating fruit all day. And then I had a salad for dinner and I was like, wow, I feel really good. I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And then was like, oh, does anyone else like fruit as much as me? And then I found communities online and other creators like you. And so that's super, super funny, but really, really cool how like intelligent the body is. And when we tap into that intelligence, like you said, and make the connection with our intuition, it's guiding us home. We just want to listen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's also why my channel name is Raw Intuition, is because, once I cleared out all the gunk from my body and I was putting in living, hydrating, fresh fruits and vegetables, it was like my connection with my intuition skyrocketed, and I could finally hear my my inner voice, and I could finally notice the things that I was doing that were kind of sabotaging my happiness and my health and all these different things that was just getting in my way of doing what was good for me. And so that was a big intuition, is a thing that I really focus on, because I encourage people to try more fresh fruits and vegetables so that they can get that little spark of their intuition, and that can lead to a snowball effect of just craving more of that, and that spark that you get when you connect with your intuition, and it can change your life. So yeah.
Yay! And something you said in your first story really dinged for me is when you said that eating or drinking the fruits and vegetables, because you started with a juice feast or juice fast, it lifted your brain fog. And that's something that I hear a lot of people talk about. And reflecting on my own experience, I didn't really know that I had a brain fog until it was lifted. I'll share this experience with someone who might be eating animal products and sharing their health issues with me, and I'll say, I felt the same way. Like I was eating a ton of animals and their byproducts, and I'm naming all the things I remember feeling, and I'm like, I just had this brain fog, and they're like, oh, no, that's not me. Like, I feel fine. And I go, yeah, like I felt fine. And then when I, started eating fruits and vegetables, I then was like, in comparison, whoa, I
Yeah.
feel a huge difference. And
Hmm.
for me, I've actually, had cooked vegan food since I first started this journey as like a little experiment.
Yeah.
And every single time it's a gift because I get to relearn, like, this is why I keep coming back to fruits and vegetables in their
Yeah.
raw living state. Because, oh, like, I'm so clean, I can digest the cooked food just once, and then I feel like a food coma and I feel like slow and lethargic. And the next day I get back on fruit and I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, the
Right.
brain fog, that's a thing. Okay,
Yep.
get back on track. I don't know if you've had any experiences like that or in sharing or personally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm not 100% raw all the time, so I do include cooked food when I need to. But I will say when I go long periods of time with just raw food, and then I incorporate more, or if I start incorporating things like steamed vegetables or potatoes, I do notice a drop in just energy and even like my motivation. And I don't know, it's weird. It's like this, just my creativity kind of drops a little bit. And so that's why I always, I strive to be as close to 100% as I can, because that's where I feel my best and that's where I'm my most creative. So especially when I'm like trying to come up with, books and things, it's nice to be as close to 100% as I can. But what I do recommend, what has worked for me, for if somebody is going to include cooked food, to make it a small, like a side portion of the meal.
Mm.
And anytime, like if I'm going to eat cooked food, I'll always eat it with a salad. So like a big raw salad to help with the digestion of it. And just otherwise it makes me feel super thirsty afterwards too. So if I eat it with a massive salad and it's just, like a side thing that I put with it, it makes it much easier on digestion, and it doesn't dehydrate me quite as much. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with you, Matt, on that. Um, when I have had cooked food, I feel, even if it doesn't have salt, I feel
Right.
so thirsty.
Me
And
too.
I'll like find myself carrying up a mason jar of water to bed because I
Yeah.
remember like waking up in the middle of the night parched and chugging this jar of water.
Right.
And then I remembered doing that since I was a child. Like, that was
Oh,
part of my evening routine, was filling up my cup, bringing it up,
yep.
waking up in the middle of the night. And I thought that was normal.
Mm,
And, for a couple of years, I actually rarely drink water. Like, I'll drink it if I'm thirsty, but I rarely find
yeah,
myself feeling that thirst for
sure.
drinking water. And it's really, really amazing, this awareness of hydration when
Yeah.
we're filling our body with fruits and vegetables, because I didn't even know I was chronically dehydrated before.
Right. Yep.
And so I hear, you and other people I've interviewed talk about like hydrating their body, feeling juicy, feeling, really hydrated.
Yeah.
And if you had talked to me about that 3 years ago, I'd be like, why do you keep talking about being hydrated? Like, this is such a weird conversation.
Hmm.
But water's life. Like, it's
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's important for every bodily system that we have. All the functions of the body require adequate hydration, including digestion, including the enzymes that digest our food, and including the digestive fluids that our body creates to break down our food. So it's so important that we are keeping the body hydrated with fresh raw fruits and vegetables, and then whatever additional clean water that you need. But it's something that, yeah, a lot of people don't realize that they're dehydrated until they get a little more hydrated, because then they realize, they're like, okay, wow, yeah, I needed some water, or I needed some hydration anyways.
Yeah, the same for me was true about my energy levels. I didn't think I was low energy
Hmm.
until I energized myself with raw living foods. And
Yeah.
now my friends and family joke because I'll eat fruit, like whatever it is. I'll have watermelon. I'll start dancing. I'm like, this is Lexi on watermelon. Like making fun of those drug public service announcements. Like,
Right.
this is your brain on drugs. Like, this is Lexi on fruit. I'm happy. I'm having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. You won't see that on TV.
So that actually ties into our theme of today, all about energy.
Yes.
And I was really excited about this topic because it really can branch out into so many directions.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, how we create or deplete ourselves of energy through the process of digestion. So I thought you might want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, digestion is like so just so intertwined with our energy levels. They say that digestion takes about 80% of our nerve energy. And so that's one reason why somebody might have like a big holiday meal of like cooked food and a bunch of probably animal products and whatever else. Even it doesn't even have to be animal products, but if you just eat a big, portion of hard to digest foods, your body's going to go into that like whoa digestion mode and suck all your energy, and that's why people end up falling asleep on the couch after a big meal and things like that. So definitely eating in a way that optimizes our digestion is going to lead to higher energy levels. And again, it goes back to hydration. It goes back to how much fiber we're eating to move things along and make it easier to, one, build up our good bacteria, the good microbiota that helps us, one, digest a lot of the insoluble fibers that go through our digestive tract. And they produce short chain fatty acids, which are like super powerful nutrients essentially. And like butyrate and propionate, like these two short chain fatty acids, I guess supposedly they give us energy and they energize our cells. And so it's so important to eat in a way that feeds our gut microbiome and is easy on digestion, doesn't clog us up. It hydrates us. It gives us the vitamins like vitamin C and all the other vitamins. Every single one is important. And when you're eating them in a whole food form, you're getting that complex matrix of all the different nutrients that you want. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's just like I like that's one thing I really love about fruits, is that they're easy to digest, they're super hydrating, they're full of fiber, and they're super full of antioxidants and vitamins. And so it's like a perfect energizing food. And they also help with elimination. So that's, I mean, what's not to love about fruit if you're looking for more energy?
Exactly. It's my favorite thing to talk about is how
Yeah.
fruit is the perfect food. Mother Nature or God or the universe or evolution, like whatever resonates with you, came to create this perfect blend of fiber and water and nutrition and energy. And it really is, when you understand the logic of it, or when I understood the logic of it, it was a no-brainer to continue making this choice, but a lot of people know that fruit is good for you. They know it's a smart choice. However, cravings for other foods can be really strong. And in any given moment, there's an apple on my fruit bowl and my friend just brought home a pizza, but it smells so good. Like, why are people experiencing this dissonance when they know logically fruit's good for them and they want a choice that maybe won't feel so good later? Do you have any tips or advice? Did you ever experience that yourself, or how someone might be able to overcome that?
Yeah, great question, and something that a lot of people have issues with. Funny enough, I didn't really struggle with that myself personally. I don't know if it's, because I focused on really cleansing myself in the beginning, or if it's just my personality or what. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But one thing that I do know is that one, those foods, so our brain is essentially wired to look for the highest amount of calories for the least amount of effort. And so that's why foods that are higher in calories, like processed foods like pizza, high in, these high, super concentrated foods like cheese and bread and things, it's a pack of calories that stimulates our dopamine and gets us sort of addicted to them, including they have other addictive chemicals to them. But so the fruit is like this hydrating water and fiber ball of goodness, but it doesn't have as much of the calorie hit, so we don't get as much of the dopamine as we do from a super hyper stimulating salt, oil, and sugar loaded food like whatever it is, pizza or anything else. So there's the addictive nature of those foods that hyper stimulate our senses, and they kind of deaden our taste buds. And so we don't actually taste the vibrancy of fruits and vegetables like we should when we're eating that way. And so also when we're eating those foods, it alters our gut microbiome, and we have more bacteria that crave those foods, because that's basically what you put down your intestinal tract is going to attract and grow the bacteria that can break that down. And it's actually been shown that our microbiota can influence our cravings and our thoughts. And so, they say that they can make us want to eat these foods so that they can keep living. So we need to keep putting the foods that feed them. And so that could be another factor as well. I know something that I can give a few tips for people that do experience these sorts of things, like cravings for junk foods and just things that they don't want to eat, but they eat it anyways because they have that addictive draw to them. First off, of course, just don't have it in your house. That's the easiest thing. Maybe not easy to not bring it in, but that's the most one of the most practical things to do is just not bring it in. But if it is there, that's something you'll have to deal with. You can either give it away or do what you want with it. But I think it's really important, if you have a craving, there's a good chance you're either eating too little, you're dehydrated, or you're just not eating the right balance of foods to keep you happy with your current diet. And so I think it's really important, one, to what I always go to if I I don't really get cravings, but if I were to, I would eat a juicy fruit. A juicy fruit, even if I didn't want it, I would eat it, and I would be so glad that I did, because it's almost like you have to force yourself to eat the good food so that you can remind yourself how good it is. When your mind is stuck on some junk food that you're thinking that you want. And so it's really about figuring a way how to eat for nourishment rather than eat for entertainment. And the thing is, the more you eat this way, the more you clean out your body, the easier that gets. One, because your microbiome has changed, but two, because if you do go back to eating those junk foods, your body's basically alarm system, your body's senses are going to be heightened the more healthy you get. And so the more you're eating a healthy diet, the more intense and the more sensitive your body's systems will be. And so when you bring in some junk food, then your body's gonna, before when you normally eat those foods, you don't even notice that it's something that's not really resonating with your body. But once you're healthy and you bring in that unhealthy food, your body will trigger a response, and you'll either feel ill, you'll get diarrhea, or you just won't feel good. And so that's your sign right there that those foods aren't serving you. And it's easier to, get that reminder when you've gotten your body into a more healthy state. So one, I would say go for fruit as much as you can. Juicy fruit, if you can't, like mango or oranges or papaya, things like that. Even watermelon. These are things that I would go to if I were going to if I had a craving. And then also, I would say I have a concept called 5-star salads, which are, I think, really important for eliminating cravings. Because I think, cravings happen, again, when either we're not eating enough or we're just not getting the nutrients that we want or that our body wants. And so eating big, massive, green, leafy salads, I think is really important to get those minerals and get all the micronutrients that our body desires. And for me and people that I've worked with, they are so good at getting rid of cravings. Mm-hmm. So, big salads are super important, and juicy fruits. So yeah, I don't know if that answered the question, but
I really appreciate that thorough answer and how it addressed a lot of the different issues that we feel are related to the cravings. You had said, make sure you're eating enough, make sure you're eating a lot of juicy fruits and leafy green salads. Make sure you're hydrated, are we still here?
Yeah, I lost you for just a second there.
Okay. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
So yeah. And something that, you said was the bacteria in our microbiome, are there from eating whatever we were eating. And if we switch our diet, they won't have anything to feed off of. We'll create a new flora of bacteria to, get accustomed to eating the veggies and the fruits. So it's really, really awesome, really, really good news. I love what you said at the beginning, like just start to incorporate more fruits and vegetables in your diet, because then you'll be attracted to that. I think like a really key point of what you said, Matt, at the beginning of answering this last question was that you went into this to clean your body, to cleanse. Like you had a clear intention, you had a purpose, you had a mission. Yeah. So you knew that your action choices, your choices were going to be in alignment with your mission, with your intention. And that's something that I talk about in my ebook, which is the contribution to this Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, Think Yourself Healthy, and the importance of, being aware that mindset has a big part of this. If you go into this saying, like, I have to be raw vegan, I should eat this or else, that's going to create a lot of dissonance. I mean, it could create a lot of dissonance or negative emotions and then make, decision making really difficult and unpleasant. So, figuring out what your why is and then making sure that this journey is pleasurable and enjoyable, like stocking up on the fruits that you love, making 5-star salads that you look forward to all day because they're delicious and satiating, are really, really great pieces of advice.
Thank you. Yeah. By the way, I love your book, and there's so much in there that I resonate with. The perspective that we have, I think, is super important. Like changing your perspective, like you talk about. Can you talk about a little bit how important having the correct perspective is when we're looking at like making a diet change or getting healthier?
It would be my pleasure. So I make an analogy, like a perspective is a pair of glasses. When you go to I don't know, if you've ever been to the optometrist and they put on different levels of magnification and they go, this one or this one, this one or this one, and it either makes things fuzzy or clear. That's like what a perspective is. So you know, and maybe you've heard of, is this cup half full or half empty?
Yeah.
Right? It's like neither. It's just, it's there. It is what it is. It's our relationship to it. It's how we're choosing to interpret it that creates the image and the perception, the perspective.
Yeah.
So really, like bread, for example, because that was something I really was addicted to. Like bread itself is not good or bad. It's just bread. Like it's just there.
Yeah.
But how I look at it is going to change my relationship with it and my experience with it. So, for example, if I look at bread and I say, oh, I really want that. Oh, I love bread. I love bread so much, but I can't have it. Well, that's creating a story that sounds really unpleasant. To have so much desire for something but be forbidden to experience that, like, whoa, and on the other hand, if I look at bread, I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous, but this is what worked for me. It's like one day I was looking at bread and I was like touching it and it reminded me of a couch cushion or like a foam mattress pad, and it
Oh yeah.
suddenly clicked in my mind, like that's not food. It's like a substance that I don't detect as food anymore. It's not colorful, it's not visually appealing, it's not hydrating. And so just by changing how I looked at it, it changed my relationship with it. And similarly, thinking about what I'm allowed to do and what I want to do, trying on the perspective of I can have anything I want. I am a free agent. We have free will here on this planet.
Yes.
And so I can have whatever I want. What is it that I truly deep down want? Well, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be at optimum health. I want to have all the energy available to me to live my life purpose, to be love and to love others and be of service and create win-wins and have fun. So, in that moment of pizza or apple, I can say, you know what? I want health. So I choose the apple, and just there's so many different examples I could go in different directions too. But basically, the whole topic of perspective is that we can choose any perspective at any time. And so that might seem difficult at first when we've been practicing a certain narrative or sharing a certain storyline, to remember that we can change the story at any time. So that's why I recommend some simple daily practices, awareness practice, mindfulness practice, because just like learning a language, it might be difficult at first. However, with practice, by just doing it over and over and over again, it becomes much more easy and natural. So yeah, thank you for asking about perspective. I hope that kind of answered your question.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's just perspective is one of those things, that has always kind of, it's an interesting thing with how different people look at things differently. And like when I was getting into this, and my friends that lived the party lifestyle, they would say things like, well, we're gonna die of something. And it's just that perspective. Like, to me, that's a perspective of disempowerment, and like you're just like a leaf in the wind, but really, instead of focusing on like you're gonna die of something, like something's gonna get you, why not create like, oh, I mean, if I have a limited time, why not make it the best I can make it? Why not create the best life I can make, rather than just waste it away because I think, something could happen. It's so those were just some of the, experiences I had that really showed me that perspective was a big key in building the life that we desire.
Absolutely. And when you just mentioned that party lifestyle, I mean,
Hmm.
I lived that for at least a decade, searching for something that I didn't even know what I was searching for, whether it
Yeah.
was drinking alcohol or binging on junk food or smoking cannabis. I thought that it was bringing me pleasure and
Yeah.
joy, and like that was what made life worth living. Like, ooh, I get to indulge in these pleasures. But reflecting back, I was comatose for half my life, like literally a walking zombie.
Yeah.
And again, but at the time, I really believed like this is the life. I'm having fun. I feel good, even though half of the time was spent hungover, constantly looking for another solution to a problem. And something someone said on another one of my lives, I don't remember exactly who it was, but they said now with living raw foods, like I'm high all the time.
Yeah.
And it can be overwhelming at first when we're used to kind of up and down or like down a lot. High can feel really vulnerable and
Yeah.
light. So I don't know if you've experienced that at all, if you have any insights to share on that.
I mean, yeah, I was at I was kind of at like the opposite of that for a long time, and I resonate with everything you just said. I was the exact same way. A decade of just like partying several times, almost every night. It seemed like, especially through college, and just being hungover all the time. And when I would drink, I would get like, even if I didn't drink like a ton, I would seem to black out a lot. And so I started to, realize that my life, like, one thing I've always just appreciated was as a child and growing up is listening to like grandparents and older people tell their stories from their life and things. And like it just clicked in my mind one day. I was like, my entire memory is like located on Facebook. Like if I didn't have the pictures from the night before, I wouldn't remember
Mhm.
what happened. And so I was like, wow, there's a lot of nights that, a big portion of my life that what stories am I going to be able to tell when I'm older, because I'm not going to remember half of it. So that was one thing that, was an eye opener to me. And the feeling of like you said, feeling high all the time. It's like before I got into this lifestyle, I realized that I was like I set the bar so low for myself, and my mood, even though it might not have come off that way to others, but like internally, I was like so low and like just so uninspired and just unhappy. And so when I got into this lifestyle, I was like, it just opened my eyes to just how powerful our personal actions can be. Something so small it would seem as what we eat.
Mhm.
Most people think that that's just like a minor thing, like whatever. It's you put it in, it comes out, that's it. But
Mhm.
there's so much information and just amazing, like we don't even know what it is. It's just like the energy from the earth, the energy from our environment that we put into our bodies, the energy from the sun, that just lights us up on the inside, and again sparks that intuition, the connection we have with our inner voice, with our environment, with everything. And so then you start to kind of vibe. Like I feel like nature is like such a high vibing environment, when it's not getting polluted and destroyed by industries and things. But and so you kind of just start to resonate with nature, and you start to feel that love and that just like happiness that I think everybody is supposed to feel. But we're kind of cut off from nature and from everything else, living in our homes and surrounded by toxic products and things like that. So it just kind of disconnects us from the energy that we should be obtaining from our environment that would keep us at that like peak state and that just happy vibration. And so yeah, I mean, this lifestyle completely changed my life. It opened my eyes to what energy really feels like and to what happiness feels like. And so, I'm just grateful to be able to talk about it with individuals like yourself that have experienced similar things, and to spread the word to other people like myself that I used to be. I didn't even realize that I wasn't, I didn't realize what I was missing, essentially. So, yeah, so it's just outstanding.
It is, and it really is good news.
Yeah.
I used to be really depressed and feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. I learned about capitalism and how corporations are polluting the earth and
Mm-hmm.
how there's perhaps, cruel intentions behind this whole thing. And I really felt like, oh no, the world is doomed. There's nothing I can do about it. And I just got really, really sad.
Yeah.
Um, and then, at the same time, continued to poison my body to cope with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize that was a huge cause of these distorted thoughts and perceptions and the reality I was creating for myself. I had no idea what it meant to take personal responsibility. I was an expert at blaming everyone but myself.
Mm.
And it's so interesting how the mind, body, spirit is all connected. We
Yeah.
hear that, and sometimes it's like, no, it's different, but it really is connected. And I'm so grateful too, once I stopped putting in my body what was causing harm and started putting in my body what could, give my body a chance to heal itself, it
Mm-hmm.
also cleared up like, wow, I'm responsible for all of the things that I've chosen in my life. And I'm so glad I made this choice. And now I can help others who are interested in making, positive strides in their life. And what I've learned too is that not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody is ready right now. However, if you are ready, if you feel attracted, like if you were called into this live today, there's a reason, right? You put that ask out there and you showed up for yourself. There's something you can take a value here to share out in the world and apply to your own life. Like, give yourself so much gratitude for listening to your intuition, following through with your attraction, and like keep it going. Follow your passions, live in pleasure. It's all connected, and to really feel all that love and keep going up and up and up. So if you have got the bundle, the Ultimate Raw Vegan bundle already, please let us know what you love about it and what you'd love to see next time so we can continue to serve you best. And also because we love hearing what you love and it's really good feedback. And also make sure you get the Ultimate Raw Vegan bundle. It's available through November 1st. And I want to make sure that if you want it, you get it while it's still available. Because that's what it was created, that timeline. So that's a real thing.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. So what else would you like to share about energy, the benefits, what they can find in the bundle, any other insights?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the bundle is amazing. over 1,000 recipes. I mean, it's $50. You get 55 products. There's eBooks, there's meal plans, there's courses, there's all these different things that would, I think they totaled it out at like $3,200 or something like that for, if you were to buy each thing individually. So that's amazing. Again, you're going to get over 1,000 recipes. So if you're somebody that doesn't, feel that creative in the kitchen, or you just don't know where to start, you can start with these recipes, and then it'll start to trigger your own creativity. And so you'll start to be able to create your own recipes and, start to figure out what you like. And you can start to make some amazing creations in the kitchen with simple raw foods that you previously may not have realized was possible. So it's really exciting. And just all the knowledge and information that are shared in all these books and everything else. It's just, yeah, in the other lives that I've been in, I've just been so impressed by everybody, including yourself, and what people have put out. And it's just inspiring to be, a part of a group of people like this, and, trying to do our best to brighten the world and share some things that might help other people in their lives. So, yeah, I definitely hope people will get the bundle and check out all this amazing information for such a great deal. And then, yeah, I mean, I would just say for people that are looking for more energy, like we said, go hit the juicy fruits for sure. Get the, big salads into your life, start making salads your main course for at least one meal of the day. And otherwise stay hydrated, get good sleep. There's so many other things that go into our energy. Surround yourself with positive, inspiring people, because that is one thing that I think is really important when it comes to energy, as well as, physical energy, and then just the mental energy that you need to sustain a healthy lifestyle. If you're surrounded by people that are making fun of you for trying to be healthy, or, just aren't, into the same things, it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means maybe that you would do, better with your healthy habits that you're desiring if you're surrounded by other people that have similar interests and can support you. So it's not that you have to be around identical people to yourself, but just be around people that are supportive and, encouraging to be healthy for whatever you want. And that can make a big difference for getting energy, outside of the dietary aspect. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought up this point about creating community with people that are supportive. So
Yes.
they don't necessarily also have to feel as passionate about fruits and veggies as you. However, if they're saying, wow, I see you're doing something to improve your health, like, how can I support you? Or that's really awesome. That's really, really great and really, really awesome. At the same time, though, it is possible to succeed without that. I mean, we have a lot of communities on social media, Facebook group, Instagram. Like, you can reach out to us anytime. Obviously we love to talk about this stuff. But also when I started, I was living with my parents and my fiance at the time, and I was the only one doing this. From eating animal products and animals, overnight I just went to doing this, and no one really understood what was going on. Yeah, they wanted me to be healthy, and at the same time, they're experiencing their own thoughts, opinions, fears, hopes. Everything came up for them too. So, when they're like, oh, do you want some of this cooked whatever? It's good for you. It's a healthy fat. It's olive oil. It's lean chicken. It's this. Try.
Yep.
A previous version of myself would have been like, in order to show these people that I love them, I have to accept it. However, at this point, I was like, I'm so clear on why I'm doing this.
Mm,
This feels right for me. And I can really appreciate that they're doing the best they can with what they know and their form of love to offer what they've prepared for me. And a simple no thank you goes a long way.
yeah,
Like, you don't have to explain yourself unless you want to, unless they're interested.
yeah,
But like, I I saw this sign once that was like, if you can't find a good role model, be one. So if
I
you
love that.
can't find the positive influences in your life, be it. Uh,
Yes.
I hope that inspires someone in the mix. I know is kind of a tangent. Um,
Yeah, no, I loved it. I'm sure it will. I mean, I think more people need to hear that message and just understand that, we can appreciate people for where they're at because we didn't, start at this spot that we're at. We didn't know before either, and so it's just good to keep in mind that like you said, people are offering things to you, and it might not be what you feel is best for you, and but if they keep offering things like that, so you just yeah, it's just where they're coming from. It's just what they know, and then we just have to understand that that's what they know, and we just have to do what's best for us. And if we need to separate ourselves from that situation for a period of time, then you just got to do what you got to do to get
Mhm.
to be your where you want to be. And so
Exactly.
yeah,
And I do it back. I make extra smoothie and I'm like, do you want to try my smoothie?
exactly. Yeah,
Do great. And if not, I'm not going to be like, come on, try it. Come on, you need to
yeah,
have. It's like, okay, more for me. Thank you.
yeah,
It's all
yeah.
good. Um, I saw a couple questions in the comments and I want people
Sure.
to make sure that they're heard. So someone
Yeah.
said, Beer Birdie said, for quick and easy salad dressing, I use coconut aminos and balsamic vinegar. Are those considered raw?
Those wouldn't technically be considered raw. They do go through a heating process to make those, as far as I know. So yeah, it depends on how strict you want to be with your raw diet. There are definitely other ways that you could dress a salad in a healthy way that's completely raw, or at least to our best knowledge. So like in my book or in many other people's books in this bundle, I've got some whole food nut and seed based salad dressings that I find to be really delicious, and so other people might want to check that out. But yeah, there's a ton of recipes in this bundle that are low fat, oil free, and you'll surely find something in there that you can top your salad with that's gonna be delicious. But at the same time, I don't really discourage people, if a little bit of balsamic vinegar or some liquid or some coconut aminos are gonna help you to eat more salad and enjoy your salads. Um, as long as you're not drinking the bottle, every night, then I personally don't see anything detrimental about that because it's just getting you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables. So
Mm. Yeah, I love that perspective. Absolutely. Um, Again, making sure that this journey is pleasurable, enjoyable, you're attracted to it, you're enjoying it. It's all
yes.
about that too. So, if you heard someone say like coconut aminos and balsamic vinegar are bad, stay away, but you're like, but I like it. Now I don't want a salad, then that's not going to be helpful. So,
Right.
choose the perspective that's going to be most helpful and fun for you. I love that advice. Um, and yeah, like on my salad, my favorite dressing is just blended mango. Like that is what I'm
Oh
attracted
yeah.
to, and I would choose that every day if I always had ripe mangoes. However,
Yeah.
in the bundle, there's, stuff from one ingredient to 10 ingredients, and it's up to you how fancy you want to get. Because some people are like, I hate cooking, I don't want to do anything in the kitchen, I'd rather get fast food, and it's like, wham, bam, done, super easy. And then there's other people who are like, I love to cook. I could never go raw. I love to get creative. It's like you can still get super creative and have fun with raw food. So that's like one of the best parts about this and all the 50 creators who came together is that we're offering all these different perspectives and decades of experience.
Right. Yep. Agreed.
Yay! And then someone else said, how do you eat clean?
Just that? How do you eat clean?
Yeah, how do you eat clean?
Okay. So my idea of clean eating is essentially eating as many whole plant foods as possible. You know, eating things that don't come in a package, ideally, and eating, you know, for nourishment rather than entertainment. I mean, that's really my idea of clean eating. I do try to eat as much organic as possible, and stay away from, you know, synthetic pesticides and fertilizers and other chemicals in my food or water. So I think that is important, especially for the microbiome as well. And so, yeah, I guess that would be my answer, is just eating whole, fresh, raw foods is clean in my mind.
I love that. I totally agree. And to go to a place that might be TMI for some people, it like, and we mentioned bowel movements earlier. So if you're like talking about raw foods and health, we're going to talk about poop. So like when clean, like you are clean. They say over time, you won't even need to use toilet paper. It's easy and easy out. And when you eat food where it's like messy, it's like very easy to tell what foods are clean in and out and what foods are not clean. So that's a perspective that helped me, but also just like visualizing what is juicy, hydrating, rich in fiber, colorful, like that gives me the sensations of like good and clean and happy and juicy. That just resonates with me. I wish I had better words to describe it.
No, I think that was perfect.
Yeah. And another visualization that I actually heard from Dr. Areli Cuevas, she said, imagine injecting watermelon into your joints. Like it's going to be lubricated. You're going to feel good. Because so many people have, you know, complaints about joint pain and arthritis and all these things. And she goes, now imagine trying to inject bread into your joints. It's going to be like stiff. So that's something that's really stuck with me once I heard that. When I look at the food, I go, I visualize how it's going to manifest in the body and how it's going to process and how it's going to eliminate. And that tool of visualization is really, really helpful too.
Completely agree. And just to add to that, like when I like think about like processed foods, this is one of the things that really keeps me, I mean, one of them that keeps me from eating like processed foods is like, I just see the ingredients on the package, and I'm like, I just like visualize that going into my body and like what that's going to look like and how that's going to interact with my cells and my fluids and everything. And just that visual of like what those, you know, ingredients are going to do once they get into the body. Yeah, it's like, it's just something that I wouldn't want to introduce into my vessel, you know?
Yeah, especially if our vessel is our temple or like our vehicle or like our baby. We want to treat it with the utmost love. Like we're worth it. We deserve that love and attention. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because as you were saying that, I'm like thinking about how I would visualize ingredients that I don't know how to pronounce, and they like turned into these like robot, like DNA looking things. And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to be in my body. It's like holding a weapon and like poking myself. I don't know. That's just what I came up with.
Yeah, yeah, it's valid.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, we've had so many juicy tips all about energy, how digestion is key to creating energy, to feel better, to create optimum health. We talked about visualization tips. Thank you, Yvonne, for the comment. Great tips,
Thank
very
you.
helpful. And we talked also about the importance of fruit and five-star salads,
Yeah.
about mindset, so many good things, and about the ultimate raw vegan bundle too that is going on now through November 1st, which is World Vegan Day.
Yes.
And every day can be vegan day. It's
Thanks.
just a choice. So if you are a seasoned, identified raw vegan who's been doing this for decades, there are going to be recipes in here that you definitely want to check out. I'm blown away by creations that people have contributed to this bundle.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if you are just curious or interested in being more healthful or interested in raw food specifically, then you definitely will love this bundle as well. So to get it, you can visit our Instagram bios at Healthy Dynamic Life or at Raw Intuition. And go ahead and follow us as well, because we're constantly providing really great value to share with you. We want to be helpful and continue the conversation with us. I think that's the best part about these events is really connecting, building relationship, being helpful, creating win-wins. Like, we really appreciate your support and we want to support you too.
Yes. Beautifully said.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I mean, you covered it. I just hope people enjoy the bundle. I hope they'll go get it. I mean, at least go check it out. Use the link, like Lexi said, just to check out all the great things that are in there. And I think you will be very tempted to get it because it's amazing. So thank you, everybody, for joining us and listening and interacting with us. And I agree, Lexi. People, I hope we can continue this conversation, indefinitely and just share it with more people and get people excited and feeling, as good as they possibly can.
Woohoo! Yay! Thank you so much, Matt. I'm so excited to talk with you and get to know you better. And I look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Likewise.
Really appreciate everyone who tuned in live or is watching the replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have so much love and gratitude for you. And I hope you have a beautiful, happy, healthy, and dynamic rest of your day.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Lexi.
Thank you.
Yep.